Every strong connection has an invisible engine driving it. It's not luck, timing, or charm. It's giving. When someone genuinely offers care, attention, or support, a powerful response is triggered in the other person. They naturally want to return it. This isn't just polite behavior. It's the law of reciprocity, one of the most fundamental principles in human relationships. Understanding and applying this law can transform friendships, romantic bonds, and professional connections into something deeper, more authentic, and more rewarding. At its core, reciprocity is simple. Giving creates a natural desire in others to give back. It's not about expecting a reward, it's about understanding a universal human pattern. People feel seen, appreciated, and valued when we give without strings attached. The impact is enormous. Small, consistent gestures build trust, loyalty, and emotional safety. Over time, these actions accumulate, turning casual connections into strong, lasting relationships. Reciprocity is built into our brains. Giving triggers dopamine, the pleasure hormone, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Even small acts of kindness flood the brain with chemicals that make us feel good and strengthen our social bonds. Receiving kindness also sparks gratitude, creating a feedback loop. This explains why relationships flourish when both people consistently invest in each other. Our brains are literally wired to reward reciprocal behavior. In friendships, reciprocity is the glue that holds people together. Checking in on someone, offering help, or celebrating their wins naturally encourages them to do the same for you. Consistent reciprocity builds emotional safety. Friends know they can rely on each other, and trust grows. Without this mutual exchange, even close friendships can fade over time. Romantic bonds thrive on mutual effort. Thoughtful gestures, active listening, and emotional support signal care and commitment. When these actions are reciprocated, intimacy deepens and love feels secure. The absence of reciprocity, however, can cause frustration, resentment, and emotional distance. Even small patterns of imbalance, one partner giving more than the other, can quietly erode a relationship. Reciprocity isn't just personal, it's professional. At work, sharing knowledge, offering help, or acknowledging contributions encourages collaboration. Employees who experience reciprocity are more engaged, motivated, and loyal. Leaders who give support without expecting immediate results create teams that naturally respond with effort, innovation, and trust. The law of reciprocity is a quiet engine behind high-performing relationships and workplaces. Reciprocity works strongest when giving is genuine, not transactional. People can sense when kindness is strategic. Authentic giving, rooted in care rather than obligation, naturally inspires reciprocity and strengthens bonds in ways that manipulation never can. Even small, thoughtful actions, like remembering an important detail or offering encouragement, can trigger a cascade of reciprocal behavior that enriches relationships over time. Being emotionally intelligent amplifies reciprocity. Understanding how others feel, what they need, and when to act makes your giving more effective. Emotional awareness ensures that your gestures resonate, creating stronger and more meaningful responses. Emotional intelligence also helps you recognize when reciprocity is lacking, so you can recalibrate your efforts or adjust expectations without unnecessary frustration. Giving consistently builds trust. When people see that your words and actions align over time, they feel safe to open up. Reciprocity and trust feed each other. Giving fosters reliability, which fosters loyalty, which encourages further giving. Without reciprocity, trust erodes. Relationships feel one-sided, and emotional distance grows. Recognizing imbalance early prevents long-term relational damage. Reciprocity doesn't require grand gestures.
A genuine compliment, a helping hand, or a moment of active listening can create powerful effects. These small, consistent acts accumulate, creating a sense of mutual care that strengthens bonds exponentially. The principle is simple. Consistent, meaningful giving outweighs occasional grand gestures every time. Reciprocity underpins influence. People are naturally inclined to respond when someone helps or supports them. Marketers, negotiators, and leaders all leverage this principle, but it works best when giving is authentic and perceived as valuable. This shows that the law of reciprocity is not just about personal relationships, it's a universal force guiding human interaction at every level.
While giving is powerful, overgiving can be counterproductive. Constantly giving without receiving can lead to burnout, frustration, or imbalance. The key is to give mindfully, ensuring that your generosity fosters mutual growth rather than creating one-sided relationships. Healthy reciprocity respects both parties' emotional needs. Not all relationships respond equally. Some individuals may not reciprocate due to emotional unavailability, selfishness, or personal limitations. Recognizing this early helps prevent wasted effort and emotional exhaustion. Strategically choosing relationships where reciprocity is present ensures that your giving leads to meaningful, sustainable bonds. Reciprocity isn't reserved for big moments. It shows up in daily interactions. Holding the door, offering encouragement, or sending a kind message are all forms of giving that naturally elicit a response. These micro-actions reinforce social cohesion, strengthen personal bonds, and create environments where cooperation and care flourish. Reciprocity creates a positive feedback loop. Giving inspires response, which reinforces giving, which builds connection, trust, and loyalty. This loop accelerates relationship growth, making bonds stronger and more resilient over time. Ignoring this loop, or expecting giving without receiving, breaks the natural rhythm, causing frustration and imbalance. Giving is not only socially rewarding, it activates deep emotional fulfillment. When we give, our brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, creating genuine feelings of happiness and satisfaction. These positive emotions aren't fleeting. They reinforce the behavior, creating a natural desire to continue giving. Beyond the neurochemical response, giving fosters a sense of purpose. Contributing to someone else's well-being reminds us of our own capacity for kindness and empathy. In relationships where giving is recognized and reciprocated, both parties experience enhanced emotional well-being, reduced stress, and a stronger sense of connection. Over time, this creates a cycle of generosity and gratitude that strengthens bonds and nurtures personal growth. Reciprocity spreads like ripples in water. By consistently modeling authentic giving, you teach those around you how to interact with care, respect, and generosity. When people experience consistent acts of kindness, they naturally mirror this behavior, reinforcing a culture of mutual support. This is especially important in families, workplaces, and communities. For example, leaders who model reciprocity inspire their teams to collaborate and share knowledge. Parents who demonstrate generosity raise children who value empathy and connection. Teaching reciprocity isn't about controlling others, it's about creating an environment where giving and receiving are both natural, valued, and appreciated. Romantic relationships thrive on small, meaningful gestures that show care and attention. Thoughtful notes, surprise acts of kindness, active listening, or sharing responsibilities may seem minor, but they signal love, reliability, and appreciation. Reciprocity in romance isn't about keeping score, it's about creating balance and emotional safety. When partners give and receive consistently,
intimacy deepens. Romance becomes less about grand displays and more about consistent, authentic acts that communicate trust, respect, and emotional alignment. Couples who cultivate reciprocity tend to experience greater satisfaction, emotional closeness, and resilience in challenges. Reciprocity is a universal human principle, but cultural norms shape how it manifests. In some cultures, giving is subtle and indirect, like offering help quietly or supporting someone behind the scenes. In others, giving is explicit: gifts, verbal appreciation, or public acknowledgement. Understanding these cultural nuances is crucial, especially in diverse workplaces, friendships, or international relationships. Misinterpreting gestures can create tension even when intentions are genuine. By observing, learning, and adapting to cultural expectations, giving becomes more effective, meaningful, and likely to be reciprocated. Balanced reciprocity is a cornerstone of long-term relationship success. Studies show that couples, friends, and professional partners who give and receive equitably report higher satisfaction, lower conflict, and stronger emotional bonds. Giving fosters stability and emotional security. When both parties feel valued and supported, trust deepens, and conflicts are easier to navigate. Over time, these patterns create relationships that are resilient to stress, change, and challenges. Reciprocity isn't just about fairness, it's about creating a sustainable emotional ecosystem where everyone feels seen, respected, and motivated to contribute positively. The law of reciprocity is deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. Giving with authenticity, care, and awareness doesn't just elicit return gestures, it transforms the quality of relationships. It fosters deeper trust, stronger emotional bonds, and a culture of mutual respect and support. Whether in friendships, romantic relationships, family dynamics, or professional settings, the impact is profound. Giving changes everything, not because it forces anyone to act, but because it sets the stage for meaningful, lasting connections. Invest in giving thoughtfully. Observe how people respond. Cultivate balance. Relationships flourish when generosity meets reciprocity, and lives are enriched when acts of care are met with gratitude and shared effort. In the end, the secret to thriving relationships isn't how much you receive, it's how consistently and genuinely you give. That is the true power of reciprocity.